You're currently on a prayer journey with the Lord or a faith journey with the Lord, I want to share a powerful testimony that the Lord reminded me of today because I just really feel like somebody needs it. I actually completely forgot about this testimony. Completely forgot about it until something similar happened today where the Lord reminded me, like, hey, do you remember this happened? So backtrack. A couple of years ago, I went to Tiffany Montgomery's Millions Conference and it was hosted in Houston. I remember when I bought the ticket, I was living in New York and I had also decided that I was going to go to Covered by God. However, the tickets for Covered by God literally sold out within like that same week. I couldn't get my hands on a ticket. It was sold out. Well, after Millions Conference, I still showed up to Covered by God, as did, I don't know, maybe like 50 to 70 other people. Everybody there called it the faith line. Everybody's like going to Covered by God by faith. Mind you, I had decided like months ago that I was going to go to this Covered by God, even though I had no way of getting in. First of all, I knew that I was going to get in there no matter what. Wait, now that I recall, actually, the Covered by God was the day before the conference, so I was there early. I was in Houston a day early. I was also debating whether I was going to go because at this point I was kind of doubting. I was like, I don't know if I want to go through all the trouble of going in. The Uber, I just didn't want to pay for the Uber there and back and be disappointed. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to worship mammon or worry. Like, I'm just going to go. So I show up and there's like literally the entire line for people who already have tickets is wrapped around the entire parking lot. There's hundreds of cars there. I'm somewhat early to like the faith line. There's like more than 10 people ahead of me. Meet a couple girls and we're all chatting it up. We're talking about what we do, where we're from, what we're here for in terms of Millions Conference. And then the doors open. When the doors open, I start getting into business. I start praying. At this point, there are some girls that I've made friends with where they're like, I don't think that we're going to get in. Apparently there's a story that's going around that they accidentally let people in that didn't have tickets. And so now everything is just like mixed up and a lot of people are just like buying into doubt and buying into what they're seeing. And this is literally eliminating people and people are like ready to go. One girl who was super nice literally offered me a ride home. She was like, I'll pay for your Uber home if you don't want to stay, but yeah, I'm leaving. Just met her, bless her heart. I chose to stay because I was like, no, I need to try to get in here at least. At this point, there's so much commotion between like stories about what's going on. People are trying to figure out what's going on. One girl's like telling me like, hey, they're saying that we have to leave, that we can't even be in the line, that we have to like go wait for the car somewhere else. The one girl that's like reporting like in my group now that I've made friends with was telling me the whole story with the ticketing. And I realized this is all a distraction. At this point, I even realized like I have to separate myself from this group that I just made because like my goal here is to get inside of the conference. Not the conference, I mean the Covered by God. So I just kind of slowly pull away from them and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pray. Like, I'm just going to pray. So I start praying in tongues. Just under my breath, I'm like, Lord, come on. Like, I came all the way here, like, without worry and without, like, saying, you know, worshiping mammon. Like, I came here. I invested into coming here. Like, I'm going to get in there. And so there I'm praying. I'm seeing the guy at the front of the door saying, if you guys don't have a ticket, you guys have to leave. And there I am just like standing my ground. Like, I'm not leaving, Lord. Like, I'm not leaving this parking lot. I'm getting in there. I'm praying. There's people literally going up to the front of the doors, trying to talk themselves in, trying to maneuver their way in. Just like, you know, like, let me talk myself in here. Maybe I can like try to get myself in there. I'm praying. I'm just praying. I'm praying in tongues. Just telling God, Lord, like I came all the way here. You got to let me in there. At this point, like I think Tiffany's already speaking, like the speaker's already there. And I'm like, God, like I'm not backing down. Like even though she's talking, like I'm going to get in there. Like I know there's more than one speaker. There's some people that they've already given up. They went and they prayed in the corner and then they left. There's other people that are worshiping outside and just like having, you know, I don't know, Bible study outside. I'm still praying. At this point, there's like a little bit less people in my group. There's about 5 of us, including myself. Me and this other woman are literally like the only ones playing. She's playing it on her iPad. I can barely hear her. I can barely hear her iPad. And I'm just praying. I'm still just like, God, you have to get me in there. I actually can't stop laughing because this is such a crazy and powerful testimony. Tiffany gets off stage and the next speaker is about to go up. And I'm just like, God, literally, I've been out here. We've been praying for hours. So I think it was like hours or maybe an hour and a half. I'm not sure. Guy comes up to the door and he looks over to me and he's like, you, mind you, people start coming up to the doors because they still want to get in. You, how many are in your group? And then we just look at each other and we're just like, just us 5. And he's like, okay, hold on. I realize that like I'm not fully finished, like I'm not fully in there yet. So I keep praying. I'm like, well, I still have to pray. It literally took like 15 more minutes. He comes back to the door. He's like, 5 of us go in there, make it just in time for the second speaker. Here's the revelation that the Holy Spirit revealed to me from this powerful testimony. Prayer is going to be your only answer. There's times where you can't worship your way through it. There are times where you're going to need unstoppable faith and you're going to have to pray because you need to knock until the door's opened. Second of all, it's not going to be done in your flesh because literally so many people tried to persuade their way in there. You have to have the courage to not back down for whatever it is that you're asking God for. Lastly, some of these girls, like I did not see them after that. I didn't see them at the conference. Lady with the iPad, she's still my friend till this day. Note how like they were all able to get there because 2 of us were carrying faith to get into that place. That's to say, you can have faith for your friends and people can borrow your faith or like cling to your faith or get under your umbrella of faith. At the end of the day, if you have the gift of faith, God gives you that gift so you can be an example to others to actually stir up the gift of faith or to stir up faith in others. This is your reminder that if you're going through something or like you're feeling defeated about a prayer request, get up, pray again. We do not stop praying until it comes to pass, until it manifests. If God gave you a promise, if he gave you a prophetic word, the tears sometimes are not going to move God. At times they do, but you have to be reminded that faith is what pleases God and faith is what moves God. Please hear me with the right ears. I wasn't trying to get anything out of God. I just was not in a space where I qualified for something and I used the gift of faith or I used the faith that God gave me. I believe that God answered it so that it would be a testimony for other people to press into other prayers. I know that there are a lot of people who probably have promises that they're waiting on, prophecies, and some people are feeling discouraged. People praying the prayer of surrender, giving up, leaving, walking away. Let this be your reminder. Matthew 7:7 says, ask and it will be answered. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be open to you. Have the courage to not back down with whatever it is that you've been asking God for. If it's for healing, it's for your businesses, for salvation. It literally be for anything that God has literally given his stamp of approval that he said that he was going to do for you. Prayer backed by faith is powerful and it is impossible for God to not move. You also have to realize that you cannot by any means start going by what you see. I could have made the choice to leave with the girl who offered me the Uber home or to my hotel. I've chosen to listen to the girl who was telling me the story about how they switched up tickets and people were being let in there who didn't have tickets and all this. You just try to have the eyes of your understanding be open. You can see like beyond what you see, you can press in. I hope this helps somebody because when God reminded me of this testimony, it literally helped me. It reminded me to go back into prayer for some things.